how to pay no tax on $50,000 of income. In fact, I can even show you how to pay no tax on even more than $50,000, but I just want to use a nice round number to show you how it's very legal, very easy to pay no tax on $50,000 of income. So thanks for coming to Heritage Wealth Planning YouTube channel, the place where you come to learn how to reduce, if not outright eliminate your taxes in a completely legal, legitimate way, just with your knowledge of the tax code, my friends. Your knowledge of the tax code can get the tax man off your back. So don't forget to subscribe right there. Subscribe. Oops, right there. I think you actually got to subscribe down here, as a matter of fact. Subscribe, then hit the bell to be notified for future content, because we're doing a lot of content here. And it's important for you to keep up, because you're going to learn here today on the tax code is important. All right. And the reason being, I did a video yesterday on how to retire with $139,600. And I got a lot of questions, and nothing wrong, just questions, good questions, actually. I thought I explained it, but obviously I did not. So I want to do this video as a complimentary to that one. People say, hey, Josh, that's great, but what about taxes? And the reason I didn't really dive too deeply into that is because there are no taxes. These folks, Joe and Jane, have no taxes. And I'll show you here in just a second how I got that number. But, you know, again, if you're thinking there's taxes and that's not being used, that could make you a little bit less inclined to see the strategy that you can actually easily retire with $139,600 or even less, frankly. But the taxes are eliminated. Let me show you how. So a couple of things going on here. When it comes to tax code, and I'm just looking at retirees right now, there's two ways you got to figure out your taxes once you're on Social Security. The first thing is you got to calculate your provisional income. Your provisional income will solely tell you how much of your Social Security will be subject to tax. All right. So let me show you this chart here. In 1983, Reagan signed the first law that started to tax Social Security. And basically what he signed was, if you're a single making over $25,000 in provisional income. So remember this term, provisional income. If you're a single making more than $25,000 of provisional income, up to 50% of your benefits could be subject to taxation. If you're married making $32,000 or more of provisional income, up to 50% of your benefits as well. Now in 1993, we fast forward, and now if you're single at making more than $34,000 of provisional income, up to 85% of your benefits could be subject to taxation. And if you're married, and this is what Clinton signed, if you're married, filing jointly and making more than $44,000 of provisional income, up to 85% of your benefits could be subject to taxation. Now, the problem was, when Reagan first signed this, only 10% of beneficiaries in Social Security were actually subject to income tax in terms of taxation of their benefits. Now we fast forward 35 years later, and more than half our beneficiaries are paying tax on their Social Security. And the reason is because these numbers haven't changed. They haven't been indexed. They've stayed the same since Reagan signed the law in 1983. They stayed the same since Clinton added to the law in 1993. They have not changed, which is the premise of why I wrote my book to begin with, the tax bomb in your retirement accounts and how the Roth IRA helps you avoid it. Because what's going on here is we've this regressive tax like there's never been. More and more people are being sucked into Social Security taxation because more and more people have IRAs, 401ks that they're drawing off, which is adding to their provisional income, which is making more and more of their Social Security subject to taxation. Completely regressive tax. And the same thing happened with the alternative minimum tax. Now, in the last Tax Cut and Jobs Act, they changed that quite a bit, thankfully. But the AMT was sucking more and more people, and it was never intended to do that. AMT initially was going after 300 people in the whole United States who didn't pay taxes. But now everyone's getting sucked into AMT. So that the new tax law changed that, which is good. The net investment income tax, which is under the Obamacare, is not indexed for inflation as well either. And so again, as like we witnessed in 1983, no one paid much mind to it for Social Security taxes because very, very few people are subject to it. The same thing on the NIIT. The net investment income tax is not indexed for inflation, which means fast forward 25, 30 years, more and more people will be subject to that as well, which is another reason why the tax bomb in your retirement accounts is there and is looming ever so dastardly, because a lot of people are not aware of that. So if people just planned properly, they would not have to pay taxes on their Social Security, but they didn't. And because they have big IRAs and 401ks. It doesn't have to be big, just means they're taking distributions from IRAs and 401ks. So let's talk about how provisional income works. It's pretty interesting, actually. And so going back to Joe and Jane, all right, so we got Joe and Jane, and they had $36,000 in Social Security. And we're just going to say for simplicity, they have IRA distributions of $14,000. All right, so provisional income works like this. You take half of their Social Security benefits and you add all their other income that they have to those half of your Social Security benefits to get these numbers over here. All right, now the only thing that is not added to this other income would be Roth IRAs. Everything else, to include tax-exempt municipal bonds, are added to other income when it comes to the taxation of your Social Security benefits. Everything else is except for Roth IRA distributions. Thus, the Roth IRA is so wonderful. So in this case, we take half of their Social Security, which is $18,000. We take $14,000, which is their IRA distribution, and we go to my trusty little calculator here. We got Social Security benefit $36,000. Well, just go ahead. You can watch me do this. We take 18,000, which would give us 18,000 for their Social Security benefit for the provisional income numbers. We take all of their income, which is $14,000 IRA distribution. Their total provisional income is $32,000, which means we go back up here. And if they have less than $32,000, nothing is subject to taxes. None of their Social Security is subject to income tax whatsoever. All right, so Social Security is off the map for being taxed. Now, the only other income they have is $14,000 from IRA distributions. Well, guess what? We have $14,000, but we're going to say Joe and Jane are both over 65, so they have a standard deduction of $26,000. I haven't figured this one out yet here down here. Don't pay any attention to that at this stage. So they have actually zero taxable income because they have adjusted gross income of $14,000, but you factor in their standard deduction, which means they actually have taxable income of negative $12,000. Which is not taxed. They have no taxable income. Literally, there's no taxable income there. So in this case, what we could even do, we could go up here and say, okay, let's say they took out $30,000 of an IRA. All right, so now we got $30,000. All right, and now what we're going to do is say we have $36,000 Social Security, $30,000 of IRA distributions. So now we have provisional income will be we have provisional income of $48,000. We have $30,000 from IRA distributions, $18,000 from Social Security. Provisional income is $48,000, which means $9,400 of their Social Security will be subject to taxation. So now what we do is we go back $9,400 plus their IRA distributions, $39,000. All right, so that's how it works now. $9,400 is their taxable Social Security plus their $30,000 of IRA distribution. Their adjusted gross income, let me get my head out of the way, is $39,400 minus their standard deduction of $26,000. They have taxable income of $13,400. And if we go back to my first sheet here, $13,400 is their taxable income. We type in $13,400, which means they will have a tax due of $1,340. That's it. All right, so now $1,340. So what we have to do is go back to figure out what number we can have. So we have 26,000 as our AGI. All right, so 26,000 as our AGI, and we know we have 18,000 Social Security. If we had 26,000, let's see. Let's go up here. I'm going to say we have 20,000 of IRA distributions. So let's see what that gets us. That's 38, 3,000. That's going to be right there. So we have, in this case, we have 20,000 of IRA distributions. That'll give us a provisional income of 38,000, which means only 3,000 of our Social Security be subject to income tax. 3,000 plus the IRA distributions, that's $23,000 of adjusted gross income. Take away your standard deduction, my friends, and again, they have no taxable income. So now let's go up to here. We're going to put 23,000 as IRA distributions, and that should break us. Let's see, 23. Let's do 22,500. 22,000. I think it's actually 21,500. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, right. No, 22,000. All right. So now we can have $22,000 of IRA distributions to go along with our $36,000 Social Security. That means we got $58,000 of income. All right. So $22,000 from IRA distributions, $36,000 from Social Security. Our provisional income will be $4,000. So $4,000 will be subject to income tax to go along with our $22,000 IRA distribution. Our adjusted gross income in that regard is $26,000, but you take your standard deduction and you have nothing. You owe nothing. $26,000 is your adjusted gross income minus $26,000 standard deductions, and your taxable income is zero. Again, don't pay attention to, I haven't figured out how to do this one here using the other taxable income sheet I have. So just pay no mind to that. But anyway, that is how it works. So in this case, we could have literally $58,000 of income and not be subject to any income tax whatsoever if we do our Social Security planning correctly. Now, if we change these numbers around and make this $22,000 and make this $36,000, which is what I think a lot of people do because they maximize their IRAs and minimize their Social Security, that changes everything. Now we have $44,000 of adjusted gross income. Subtract our $26,000 standard deduction. Our taxable income there is $18,500. We're almost at the 12% bracket there. So we're paying almost $2,000 in income taxes, which is $2,000 more than if we just would have done $36,000 Social Security and $22,000 from your IRA. So I hope this helps. It's important to understand how the tax brackets work. It's important to understand if you're married, filing jointly, you're over the age of 65 or 65 and older, I should say, you get $26,000 of $26,600 of standard deductions. Yeah, $26,600 of standard. Actually, I only have 26 right there. So we can even go above that 58,000. You get 26,600 of standard deductions, which means if you have Social Security of 36,000 and you have IRA distributions of 14,000, you owe no tax. So going back to the initial episode of how to retire on $139,000, 600 or less, there is no tax due because you have nothing. Your provisional income is not putting any of your Social Security subject to taxation. And because you have taxable income is well below your standard deduction, you pay no tax. Does that make sense? I'd love to hear comments on that because I think it's important for you to understand and not to get, well, actually, I think it's important to understand. So, you plan with your Social Security more appropriately than just assuming it's all subject to 10, 15, 20% tax. So it just simply is not. But it could be, it won't be subject to 15, 20% in this, 50,000, but certainly $2,000 in this case is more than zero. And I'd much rather have you have that $2,000 than the IRS. And we're not even talking state taxes here either, by the way, my friends. So if we can get that $2,000 in your pocket as opposed to the IRS, that's real money. That's real money that you can use for your own living and retirement planning. So if you like what you see here, subscribe. Subscribe right there. Don't forget to do so. Comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think. I'm appreciative of good comments. It's fun. And then, of course, thumbs up always help me. Again, the book is free. All right, so just go to Amazon.com, go to heritagewealthplanning.com, and it's 75 pages or something like that, 76 pages, 30 charts, all right, 30 different charts where I do all kinds of spreadsheet like I do here, 30 charts you can buy for free, or you can buy it on Amazon for $4.49 on the Amazon Kindle. You can get it free on Kindle Unlimited, or you can pay $5.99 to get the soft cover. Or you just go to the website, get the PDF for free and share it. I don't care. I just want to get the word out there. The more people that find the benefit of positive retirement planning with Social Security, the better off we're all going to be. So just get that info out there. And if you like what you see, just let me know. We'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.